Hello everyone, welcome to the Overwatch All-Stars Brawl 4, presented as always by Star eSports, a double elimination tournament dedicated to the Overwatch Tier 3 community. Today we're going to have Scion versus Team 2 in match number 10 of the upper bracket. I'm Zach doing play-by-play, and joined with me today is Val.
Hey man, good casting with you again. Excited for this match today.
Been about a week, glad to come back together. And before we actually go into this match, we are joined today for our pre-match interview with Niche from Scion, the team captain, also main tank.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? So, I mean, going up into this match today, you excited? What, worried about anything? What's kind of the overall headspace going in?
We're all relatively confident with our play. We've been scrimming a lot more since our last Star eSports tournament. We've practiced a lot more. We've fixed a lot of issues. We've kind of reviewed our own gameplay much, and I feel like we've polished a lot more. We're even better than we were the last time you guys may have seen us play. I've watched Team 2 play before. We've watched them play before, and we think they are a good team, but we think we're going to come out here pretty clean.
Nice, and that kind of leads into my next question, which was going to be, did you guys do a little bit of VOD review on Team 2 before you kind of go into this matchup, which I take it you have?
I didn't do a full analysis like I have for other teams in the past. I've done a few times, but I did watch the game briefly to see if I could find any glaring weaknesses. We found a few things that we could maybe work through, but nothing that's like every fight we have something planned because we know they run this certain strat or anything like that. But I think we know their play style. They're a little bit predictable in my opinion, but we'll have to see what happens.
All
right, man. Going into this matchup, is there anything in particular that you guys are going to be trying to run that may be a little off meta? You guys going to try to stick to the meta, or is it just kind of like you want to keep that under wraps?
Depending on how we play certain comps, depends on what we run. We're playing Remorse in today, and we don't have cohesion for right now, so we are a little wonky with our DPS. Remorse has been with us for a while, but he was in Korea for a bit, so we're trying to see. We're pretty confident in his play, but if he can't work on the role we're gonna put him on, then we're gonna just kind of put him in a more comfort role, and I think we can flex our swaps a little bit more here against this team. So for the most part, I plan to stick with meta, but if we need to make swaps to kind of adapt to both our play style / coordination or the other team, then that's something that we can definitely do.
Well, that's a pretty good answer. You kind of already have the game plan going in. Val, anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah, just a quick clarification. Now, when you say wonky, do you mean lacking the synergy, like he hasn't scrimmed with you guys as much, or do you just what exactly did you?
Basically, Remorse is a really smart player, and regardless of really his scrim time, he knows how to run the game. Like he knows how to play. He's always been in every meta we've put him in. He's been very smart. He's been very consistent. He hasn't been scrimming with us until about a week or two ago, since he went to Korea for a little bit. Coordination might be like a slight issue, so that's something like I feel like that could be a weakness for us, but I don't think it's going to be anything major at all on the slightest.
All right, well, that was all I needed to know.
Yeah,
Alright.
so pretty excited, looking forward into your match. You know, just coming off a 3-0. Same with Team 2. Excited to see you guys kind of go at it and see who the better 3-0 team is.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good match, actually. This is one of the few I'm looking forward to in the tournament.
Yeah, as much as anyone else is. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming into this pre-match interview. We really do appreciate it.
Of course, man. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That being said, we're just going to wait right now for everyone to get into the lobby and soon to start this match. And while we were talking before, you know, the main tank player, I didn't want to really ask if he was the shot caller, purely because just in case maybe there is a little bit of someone watching the stream maybe on the side. I know for a fact these players are very respectful, wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
but I don't want anything getting too leaked out there. So normally it's the main tank that runs the shot call, so I wouldn't be surprised. Didn't want to ask him that in that specific scenario. So going into this, you know, we've seen Scion play, we've seen Team 2 play. Are you really favoring either of these teams going into it, or are you thinking it's going to be very 50-50 in the matchup?
I'm going to say 50-50 right now, but I think it's going to go on that tank matchup. I think it's going to be how Niche and Dummy can take space against PG1 and Devil. It's going to be that give and take. I think whoever wins that battle is going to snowball for the ref. I think the tank line is going to make space for the DPS, allow the backline supports to move up, and just kind of move it down the ladder, so to speak. So that's the matchup that I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah. Safe call, but a good call nonetheless. I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I do see these teams very 50-50 in the matchup. But, you know, as soon as one of those tanks are going to get the upper hand on the other, it's just going to start rolling from there. So I think you're absolutely right in that statement. We're going to be starting off on King's Row now. Is there anything that you're looking forward to on King's Row here? Like, do you think, I don't imagine we're going to stray too far from the meta, but if we do, what's something that they could go?
I think offensively is where you'll see more of the swaps to some off-meta picks, maybe a Hanzo, a Widow, something like that, maybe even possibly double sniper. You can be more aggressive on the offense here, whereas on the defense you kind of need to play that safe, you know, that Sigma, Orisa with the Maid, to wall them off and move forward like that. But I think the offense, we could see some play here, maybe even see some Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball would be definitely fun to see here. You know, I'm not going to say I'm expecting it, though it would be fun.
By no means.
But I mean, you know, thinking about it, I can still see the fact that there's going to be that potential for some of those weird swaps, but I do imagine that they are going to kind of stay more on their meta picks. You know, Scion was talking about it earlier, and you know, I could see Team 2 doing something similar to that. I do still kind of hope that they do run that. I'm just such a big fan of the Lucio in place of the Zen when teams are on that offense. You know, I think it's just such a good pickup, and it can really, you know, kind of change up that team composition for the better.
Yeah, I really think that Lucio with the speed boost throws off that Mei wall timing, and that's kind of what we're seeing in this meta is the Mei wall to section off and then give yourself a 6v3, a 6v2, and you push forward, you get those 2 kills. Now you have the 6v4, but when you have that speed boost, all of a sudden that timing's a little bit faster. That Mei, if they're not ready to pull that trigger, now it's a 6v6, and that Lucio is all up in your grill.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure exactly, you know, why teams so heavily favor the Zen. I think Lucio, I feel like it should be more of like we could run either or, just kind of depending on play style. But I think most teams are still just so used to that play style of just sit there, break the shields, then go in, you know, instead of being more like, okay, well, maybe we can try to break the shields, but if we use a speed boost, put up a Mei wall on a specific spot, you're going to be able to rotate to a position that would be a lot more favorable. Either get their shields broken in that time or just push past them entirely to put your shields up, you know, and be really aggressive with it, I think is just the play style that I want to see more of. I feel like a lot of times when teams are losing fights, it's because they were playing too passive, and you don't really see aggression coming in too much. It's more of just kind of a proc and prod battle of shields and then going in.
Yeah, a lot of that Zen play style is waiting for that shield to break and then quickly getting that Discord orb out, calling it, and then all 6 people focusing that one target. Whereas, like you said, with that Lucio, it's speeding right into the enemy team, getting right in their face, and just moving past the shields, so where the shields don't even matter at this point. You know, it's okay. Well, the shields were here. Well, we're here now. So what are you going to do about it? And especially with Orisa, you can't really move the shield like you can with a Reinhardt. And with the Sigma change, where he now has the 1 second delay on recasting his shield, he can't reposition it as quickly as he used to. So he can't just back up, drop the shield, back up, drop the shield. And if you get really aggressive, like if you run a Lucio with something like a Reaper or a Doomfist that can do a lot of burst damage, you know, that short amount of time, that high amount of damage, it can really, really throw a team off, especially if they're running a Zenyatta, because Zenyatta doesn't have the burst heal that, you know, you need in that situation.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about different changes that have been happening, I mean, we see the PTR right now, changes to Mei and Hanzo, and a bunch of characters that are considered right now to be these meta picks, you know? So I think it'll be interesting to watch and see what happens going forward into that. Once that PTR patch hits live, it's going to be the one that is going to be played in the Overwatch League. So, I mean, what we're seeing played right now, there's a pretty good chance that that's going to be kind of like the composition played in the Overwatch League. But of course, we won't really know until we see those tier 1 teams, the ones that are making those big bucks, kind of go at it head to head and play these compositions that we may not have even seen, thought of. You know, it just kind of depends, you know, because that's how metas really seem to shape themselves. You see whatever the top players are playing, and then it just starts going off from, all right, that's what all the tier 1s are playing. Now the tier 2's doing it, tier 3's doing it. It's what you're seeing in all your competitive games. It's that little trickle effect that that tier 1 has. So we're either going to see this meta being stuck in here for a little while, or maybe we will see a little bit of a change up.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I like this time of year when we still don't have those owl matches yet, because the teams kind of get to play their strengths a little bit more. They're like, oh, well, there's not a real defined meta yet, you know, from the pros. So there's a little interchange. Yeah, there's that standard comp, the Sigma, Orisa, Mei, Baptiste, all that, but you do get a little interchange. You'll see the occasional Hanzo. You'll see this. But, oh, looks like we're starting up here.
Yep. It's going to be pretty exciting. Actually, it looks like right now how the teams are going to be starting off here. On the offense is going to be Scion. Meanwhile, on the defense is going to be Team 2 here. Should be interesting to see what they're going to go with. I imagine, like we talked before, not going to see something too different than that meta composition going on here, which can provide significant shield break, and that Zenyatta ultimate is just so, it feels like powerful. It's good against the Blizzard, it's good against the Flux, but you gotta, I think majority of the time you're gonna be wanting to save that for the Blizzard.
Yeah, you really want to save that for the Blizzard. Typically with the Flux, you'll want to, when you're running that Baptiste, you'll try to throw that field down right where it's going to land, so that way, even though everybody's going to take that damage in the air, they will land with that minimum, 20% health. And just, you don't really want to use the, you don't want to stack your immortality with the Transcendence.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the last things you want to do, because it's basically like stacking 2 support ultimates, you know? Sigma's immortality is on a pretty long cooldown in perspective to a lot of these other ultimates, and soon, or a lot of these other abilities rather, and soon it will also get that nerf, so it'll be even longer. So it's pretty much just an ultimate that you have as an ability, which is kind of strange, but you're gonna have that every fight. So if you stack that alongside with whoever your duo is, whether it be the Lucy or the Zen, then it ultimately nullifies one of those, whether it be that primary ultimate, or if it's just going to be that immortality.
Yeah, the BAP window, the BAP square, isn't exactly a support ult, so the immortality field is the closest thing he has to support ultimate there.
Yeah, that window's definitely a lot more offensive, and right now the first pick actually coming out, it's taking out Take Me on that Hanzo there. CJ being the one that's actually going to be able to do that. The immortality's already been down now. It looks like it's about to go down in a second here, so PMA is not going to have that much longer. The immortality now also going down for Magic 8 Ball. They're just trying to pick someone off, and they're actually able to get CJ. Meanwhile, they're up top. They're just trying to control this high ground. Wannabe also takes out Sei. And now it looks like they're slowly backing up here, but it looks like, actually, no. They're going to turn this around. Magic 8 Ball goes down. Following that is going to be their main tank, Devil. It looks like what a fight could have been is now going to be going over to their side.
That was a good job falling back, making sure that you didn't get that full snowball, and then going forward as 6. All it takes is that one pick, and now you've got that spawn advantage. You go forward at a 6v5, and it's just a numbers game at that point.
Yeah, Team 2 is going to be able to run back up here, though, and try to hold this first choke that they're going to go through. This is primarily the spot you want to hold. It just does such a good job at keeping everybody far away from each other. The immortalities are very easy to set up here. You don't have to worry too much about them getting taken out by someone at an off angle.
Yeah, and it's such a strong choke for that May wall. If the cart will destroy the wall, but if it's not moving, it won't. So you can stall the cart, throw that wall up, just like that.
And now these immortalities alongside their windows are now coming out, and it looks like Gomi's actually going to decide to use his Gravital Flux, and now also PG is going to be throwing that in the air too. Oh, but actually able to pick up 3. I take that back. I was about to say 2, but it looks like he's just laying them down all on the ground, just smack right their face. And now they're going to be sent all the way back to spawn.
Excellent timing there by PG1. He waited until the backfield was already down, that immortality field, which, as we mentioned earlier, can save a lot of people from that flux. And as soon as that thing timed out, set him up in the air, shot him a few times, slammed everybody down, got the triple.
Yeah, but unfortunately they did have to back off. They knew that they were down players and it would take too long for the rest of them to get back. So
very smart play.
They back up for a second here. It's definitely the smart play to go with. They're going to pull up, try to get something out of that. Actually, that immortality is probably going to go down in a second here. These tanks just trying to hold on to it as long as possible. Actually using that Transcendence, afraid it was going to go down a little bit sooner than expected. The Blizzard, though, to follow up pretty close behind it. That's going to be a few players frozen here, it looks like. But this Bongo going down is going to allow so much more damage to come through. Losing out on the Sigma, though, on the side of Scion. And now they're May. They're going to be able to push up here. Of course, that Blizzard now not being in the play, is going to decide to use that Transcendence to try to push up a little bit more here. The Fortifies come through, but now the Dragons doesn't look like it's going to be able to see much more. Just kind of buying them a little bit more space, get them split up a little bit more on the defense here. But it looks like they're going to be able to hold this car for a little bit longer. They're just slowly pushing their way up on the side of Scion. And now both of these windows coming down along with those immortalities. But immediately the one on Scion gets taken out because of that. Not played in the best position possible. Immediately taken out there, and now able to push up, fight easily one with a really good window.
Yeah, Team 2 had the better angle there. They were able to get that immortality behind the corner so it couldn't be shot at by Scion. Whereas Scion had to put those in the middle of that street. And just it was quickly taken out by all 6, and then shooting through the window, you get that damage boost. Game over.
Yeah, now PG1 just trying to make their way back here. You know, got walled off for a second there, but nothing too major. But actually, the Dragon with the pull going in, the immortality's been used fairly quick and already taken out. So now Team 2 is just backing up a little bit here. They know they have to give up a little bit of space. They use that ultimate, and now with another pull coming through, PG1 uses that Gravital Flux again, and yet again gets another kill, and they're going to be able to follow up on that. Everyone hitting the ground with such a low HP is just so easily taken out.
Again, PG1 doing a fantastic job of, well, the entire team, actually, all of Team 2, baiting out the immortality field, and then coming in with that big area of effect, Graviton Flux, getting, I think, 3 people in that one, but even though he only killed 1, doing so much damage across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're using the window. They're using these very early on here to try to start the fight and really be the initiators, even though they're on the defense. But right now, that Baptiste field is just, or that Baptiste window is just doing so much damage through. And it looks like they'd actually be able to pick up 2, really only losing the Hanzo, which isn't too big of a deal for them. They can continue moving forward here with the tanks, both supports, and the May, who's really the crucial DPS in it all. And now actually able to take out CJ while they're trying to back out Magic Maple on that Bab, just trying to run away, make sure he can keep himself alive. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that for too much longer here, though. Actually, the Immortality coming down to save themselves, but not going to have that for when they come up here on this last fight.
Yeah, a slight mistake from Magic Maple in that last fight when they initiated. He threw the Immortality field down, but it wasn't close enough to the corner where they could peek around and get used to the window. And, oh, May killed before the ult can go off.
Yeah,
That's
now it looks
huge.
like they're going to be using the Bongo. Actually, PG1 walked backwards. I'm not sure if he fell down or if he was trying to reset himself there. We'll just call it a reset. Everyone dying now, so
Yeah, we'll be nice.
pretty far up in about 2 minutes 30.
Yeah, that May ult canceled. That was huge. And now coming around this final corner with 4 ults, almost a 5th ready to go.
Yeah, I think what could be very crucial here is who's going to be able to use this Inyana ultimate to the better ability. Right now, using that Flux, doesn't look like they have that Immortality. And now, of course, with the Blizzard down, now's your time to use it. But PG1 already has been taken out here, standing on top of the wall to make sure that people on both sides are able to get that healing. backs off with a little bit of time remaining there, though, to make sure he doesn't get himself picked off. But no one's going to actually be able to touch the car in a second here. Devil just running up there with Fortify. Discorded, though, so he's not going to be able to stay alive much longer with everyone on that point right now, just focusing him down with about 2 minutes on the clock. They cap it.
Fantastic job there layering the ults. In situations like that, you'll see a lot of either lower tier or less coordinated teams be like, oh, we got 5 ults, just throw everything out and we'll win the fight. And it gets countered by a Transcendence or an Immortality field, and now you've lost that advantage. But they did a good job of one ult, baiting out an ability, then another ult, and it was just a fantastic job there watching that final fight.
Yeah, it was really good. And getting 2 minutes on the clock, getting all the way through King's Row, you know, that's pretty good in and of itself.
A lot of time.
How they had to get there, you know, it's quite a bit of time. And now, I mean, thinking about it on their offense, what is Team 2 going to decide to go with here? I imagine they're going to be still running that meta composition here on the offense. Like you said before, though, is where you can be a little more unpredictable, where you can change a thing or two up. We know just from the interview beforehand that Scion is not going to be trying to change too many things up here. They're going to be staying with a very meta composition themselves. You know, they have that player that hasn't been with them in a while now, but they've finally made their way back, you know, scrimming again. So, of course, you don't want to get too crazy with it, but if you have to change, you have to change. And that's just something they're trying to look out for. But it looks like it is going to be, again, that head versus head matchup of this double barrier composition.
Yeah, we're going to see this mirror matchup again. And like we talked about pre-game, especially on first point here, I'm a much bigger fan of the Lucio. And again, that's coming from somebody who's plat, so take it with a grain of salt. But I do like seeing that rush through the gate.
Yeah, the rush through is just so nice, especially when they have a Mei. So you can use that Mei wall and then get through into Hotel or maybe get around on the other side of the statue and then use that speed boost to start going in. Of course, the Mei wall's already been used now by Nick as they start to go forward here. It looks like they're actually going to try, at least a few of them are going up to the high ground. A few of them are staying over at the statue, so splitting themselves up a little bit to make sure that they're controlling all different areas of the point, trying to get off angles and make it a little bit harder for them to defend, it looks like.
Looks like they're trying to copy, take the high ground and low ground, the 3-3 approach. You've got a shield on both, and a lot, but yeah, I was gonna say no support on one side.
Yeah, and now losing out on Nick, you don't have that Mei, you don't have the Mei wall to be able to do too much now. So, of course, the Mei wall coming through a pull now on a Magic Maple. He's been discorded and taken out from the high ground there, actually. Supreme able to get him out of the fight. So it looks like they're just trying to get those different angles right now, but they took so long in doing it and weren't able to try to get too many picks because of it that it looks like they're probably just going to end up going down themselves here in a second. And actually in the back right now, Wannabe and PG1 kind of trying to fight off their lives, but actually able to get a pick. I think that was actually 2. They got the Baptiste a little bit earlier. If they're going to be able to actually pick off someone else here, that'd be pretty big for them. But the Mei coming up there, freezing PG1 is not going to let that happen. Wannabe also going down, but they threw the window down, trying to make sure that they could save them before things got a little too scary there. Weren't quite able to do it in time, and the window not in a position to really go in too hard on them. And, of course, being answered with the window on the other side now, PMA, pretty good window to get them to back off. They had the immortality around the wall. They knew there was nothing they could have done there. Time to back up and reset.
Yeah, the later window, a lot like the hog hook. If you can survive the initial blast from the first window and the second window up, you'll obviously have that damage boost a little bit longer, a little bit later into the fight, and it can just turn the tide for you like we saw there.
Yeah, and especially taking out your counterpart right off the bat here. So, again, they're probably just going to have to wait a little bit longer. They don't want to go in with the 5v6 and then just hope the Hanzo gets back in time before anyone else gets picked off. They want to wait completely for them to get out. And right now, actually, I think CJ was spotted out. He was hiding in a little corner. Supreme saw that. He was able to just barely get the pick on him by charging up a full 5 orbs. That was pretty good. So now, again,
that was a fantastic shot.
Yeah, that was really good. A really good spot there, and then of course to make sure that he stayed in that position, just trying to hide, and was able to get that kill.
Yeah, I don't know if Supreme saw that himself or somebody called that out, but kudos to them.
Yeah, very good. They have to use this immortality though because the Hanzo's coming through, but actually able to pick up Wannabe again now out of the fight. CJ left in position he was before, and he can't move. He has to try to hide, but he knows not to sit in that same position. He's actually going to elect to stay on the stairs now and wait for the rest of his team to come in.
A nifty trick we saw there, blocking the line of sight with the Mei wall, because that FAP immortality field, correct me if I'm wrong, requires line of sight to get its effect. So you put the Mei wall there, you shoot the dragon in, and now all of a sudden they're not immortal.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult for them. And going in now with a blizzard, absolutely doing so much damage. The Immortality, though, alongside that Transcendence. The Immortality's down, the Transcendence is down. So many people falling to the ground. That's a lot of damage to take there. That's a lot of damage. Who says that? I forget. Gummy, though, able to pick up the 3K, 2 of them with that Flux. Now having to back up with only about 40 seconds remaining.
And there we see it again. After the battlefield is down, the Graviton Flux comes in and gets 5-6 people in it. So much damage across the board, even if it doesn't secure the kills.
Yeah, and it in fact was even able to secure 2 at that, so that's very good for them. They're going to use this Maywall actually right now to push up onto the point immediately, using that Blizzard, trying to get as many people down as possible. This Immortality's out right now to try to do something, but the Dragon comes through actually on this high ground to take out the Hanzo and the Sigma that are up there. Actually able to take out both of them now, but having to use 2 ults to do it, but that might just be enough here. The Rock right into the face of Sei, and now they have to back up, and it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to actually get to the end here with time on the clock, but at least they're able to cap this first point to make it potentially doable.
Fantastic job there, splitting up the team, throwing a Maywall onto one side and the Dragon at the other, basically locking down 2 different sides and then taking the fight to one side. Phenomenally done.
Yeah, and now just staying on this cart here, trying to push it forward. It looks like actually that Sion's going to make their way up here to this first choke, which could be so difficult to try to break out of. The pull comes through, not much able actually to go through that. PMA, though, going down here is very big. They're not going to have that Immortality, and I think they noticed that on the side of Team 2, so now they're going to push up along with this cart, able to take out yet another one. They throw their own Immortality down just in case someone gets picked off while they're up 4v6 right now, just trying to put through a lot of damage. The freeze coming through doesn't look like it's actually going to be able to get anybody because that shield is up just perfectly in time there. The wall coming through here. They're stalling this out for a long time. They need to hurry up and get those kills before the rest of their team comes back, and that's exactly what they do. They get Sai out on that Mei, and PG1 actually able to take down Niche as well.
Yeah, it took him down, but lost a lot of time on that fight. There was a solid 20-second stall on a 4v6 there. You hate to see that. You wonder if that's a lack of communication on the focus fire or just an excellent job of the tanks on the opposing team.
Yeah, and I mean, so far so good. They're doing a great job right now. They're actually running up here and trying to take that space early on in the fight, so that way they don't have to wait for not only that cart to get there, but they can also be a little bit more aggressive. That window's down. That Maywall also close to follow because of that. And they're going to throw the Immortality down here. They got up in the Flux. They should be fine, though, because of that. But with that down now, both of these Dragons coming through, putting in a little bit of damage. Doesn't look like anybody on either side is going to go down. Supreme pops that Transcendence. Now the window also being popped here, so they have a lot of healing and a lot of damage now going through. This could be very difficult for Team 2, and actually Magic Mayball is going to be the one to go down here. They have to make sure they secure some kills. And it looks like right now Nick is also going to be going down, but the Flux right now could be pretty big. Only looks like it got the tanks in it, so a lot of damage was done, but not enough follow-up was there.
Yeah, a good Flux, but just when you're down 2 or 3 people and the other team has both their healers, they're going to heal all that damage up. You're not going to be able to put out enough to get that kill. And I think they know that the Hanzo's there.
Yeah, the side arrow was there. Oh, I think it was just a hope.
Yeah, that's a brutal stall there. Or brutal.
Yeah. So is he gonna switch over to Tracer to try to get back into the fight faster? Everybody's coming around right now through main. Looks like they could have possibly gone through the right side. Actually, up on the high ground right now is the Sigma and the Hanzo. How did the Sigma? Must have been a main wall to get him up there. Didn't notice that. That's actually pretty impressive. But right now, so many people going down right on the side of Team 2. It looks like they're gonna be able to possibly take this first map going over to the side of Scion.
A huge blizzard there, but nobody alive to take advantage of it. What a shame.
Pretty good fight nonetheless there. Scion showing up pretty good in this first map here, able to cap it with time on the clock and then able to stop it before it hits the second point. You know, pretty good so far from the side of Scion. What they're gonna do in the future now that they aren't gonna be able actually to make these choices of what map they're gonna be picking here could be interesting.
Yeah, excellent job though. I'll say on that map by PG1, timing those Sigma ultimates very, very well, making a strong case for himself for MVP tonight.
Yeah, MVP. I mean, don't forget, go down below underneath in the Twitch dashboard where you can vote for the MVP, who will actually be coming on here after this match to do an interview. Yep, that's right. You guys are going to be able to pick the MVP, and we will be doing an interview with them after this match. So don't forget to go down there. Maybe save your vote a little bit longer. We're only one map in, but keep your eyes on who you want to get that MVP.
Yeah, like I said, a little early, but every map counts towards showing up big tonight, and this is going to be a big match. Whoever wins this gets a straight shot right against right into the semifinals of the upper bracket against Citizens. So big stakes.
Big stakes indeed. Citizens in that earlier game, you know, it felt like it was a very back and forth. Felt like every other map was just kind of a one team kind of dominating the other one, going at it. So Citizens could be a very scary team if they get on their little dominant streak that they were on before. So by no means is whoever's going to win this match going to have an easy one to go up with again.
No,
But
Scion,
the 1-0 is looking like it could be theirs.
yeah, it was very strong showing on that map. Again, though, I was very impressed with both Sigmas actually. And, you know, like we said at the beginning at the top of the match, this tank matchup I think is going to dictate a lot of how these maps goes. It's going to be a lot of that timing of using their abilities to counter the enemy supports, especially that Baptiste field. That's the big cooldown that you want to hold on to, because as we've said, that's the closest thing Bap has to a support ultimate. Yes, the window can technically increase his healing if he shoots through it, but you're mostly shooting bullets through it, not healing grenades. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm guilty, and I'm sure every other Baptiste is guilty of using the window pretty much just for damage. It feels like most of the time.
Yeah.
It looks like we're actually going to be going over to Li Jing here. Sorry.
Ooh. Yeah, you'll see that a lot of times, especially you'll combine it with a DPS ultimate or something. You know, you're using it more for damage. You're not using it to keep your team alive.
Yeah, and watching it with a Fire Strike is definitely where, you know, it kind of shines, it feels like, because it puts through so much damage. If you even get touched by that for 80% of the cast, you're going to be dead immediately. So it could be a very scary thing to go up against. And there's a potential for it right now. Here we're going to actually be going on first control center, so we could see that Reinhardt come through, so we could see that potential Bat Matrix with that Fire Strike.
Yeah, very close quarters, very quote-unquote brawly map, for lack of a better word. You'll see, like we mentioned, a Reinhardt. You might see some Reapers, some Doomfists. You'll definitely see Mei, because walling off in these close quarters, man, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, the Mei is just so powerful on this map because of that, you know. Everybody's got, like, these really close quarter things to go through, whether it's when you're starting off the fight, you're going through this little area that's right next to the point. Even when you get on the point, the Mei wall can pretty much cut it off halfway through because of how close everything feels like it is to that little pillar in the middle. So it can really dictate the fight. And going into it here, it looks like they're going to be running that Rein, that Orisa, and actually they have a Lucio alongside here. So we'll see how that goes so far. It's looking like the Fire Strike's coming through here. He's going to put through a little bit of damage. A pretty good pull, though. Lets Gummy just go ahead and swing right now. The Immortality already going down, but a pretty good pin, actually. He's going to get Gummy low, and then want to be able to pick up that kill on the Reaper right now. Just kind of going in there a little bit more PMA. Next one down, so losing out on 2 players. You're going to immediately start to back up here and just wait for everybody to get back. Then you can go in on that point. Of course, the Lucio's going to be back pretty shortly here. But, of course, first getting the point here is going to be Team 2.
Yeah, nice short charge there by Devil, taking a very low-risk charge there. It wasn't a very long distance, and got a high reward out of it.
Yeah, and they actually do exactly that. They throw that Fire Strike through that Matrix. It's able to pick up both supports. Very impressive. That's exactly what you wanted to do.
Oh,
the pull was there. The Fire Strike, the Matrix, just the perfect team play to pretty much just outright win the fight.
Zach, are you psychic, man? That was a fantastic call.
I mean, that's exactly what you want to be seeing here, especially on a map like this, how you were talking about, super close quarters. The Ryan just is so favorable in this, other than the Sigma, because as soon as you get close to him, he has that little grasp, but there's not much he can do. And right now, it looks like the pin comes through. Gummy goes down because of that Mei wall, able to get him in a really good position. We really need to start seeing maybe a counter pin or something come out from Gummy, so that way their team can try to follow up on that. But Wannabe right now in the back line, able to take out 3 people now. He's bloodthirsty, just looking for more to get. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The rest of his team is going to pick everyone else up, and all the ultimates right now over on the side of Team 2.
Yeah, this synergy between Devil and PG1 is fantastic. You're seeing a lot of Fire Strike Halt combinations as well, letting him build up that ultimate very, very quickly. I mean, he's pretty much on his second one. Gummy still hasn't used his first.
Yeah, now it's going to be a little bit scary here because they're going to have it again. The pull comes through. The Fire Strike goes. Of course, they have the Immortality waiting for it, but both of these Blizzards are out right now. Midget Maple Gonna use his beat to try to save the rest of his team, but Gummy, since everyone was frozen, he's gonna go for the shadow. Looks like he's gonna be able to get a little bit with that. Actually, Say's gonna be the one to do that, or Sai rather. And Wannabe actually using that Death Blossom takes out Take My League, and now another 3K for him. It looks like they're gonna be able to hold this point here with the Bongo giving so much damage boost to them. Doesn't look like anyone's actually gonna be able to make it here in time. There's about 10% and counting left. Now only about 5. The one that's gonna be touching here is gonna be Niche, but is he gonna make it in time? I'm not sure. Actually, Take is running a long point. Yeah, the Bongo now down. They have that, but it looks like Wannabe actually takes them out. The shatter comes through. Gummy's on the ground, absolutely defenseless. Nothing he can do about that. The immortality now was out, but only for a short second. Wannabe in the backline takes it out, but PMA actually is going to be able to take out Wannabe. Magic Mayball using, or not Magic Mayball, but PMA using his beat right now. And actually, Maywall to stop Supreme from even trying to do anything with that Matrix, just trying to stall at the point right now. Gummy's back on that Hammond. And it looks like the Death Blossom coming through here could be actually really good. It's able to take out 2, but Take has also been taken out here. Gummy, the last one on the point. Spin to win. Sai is now back on that Doomfist, but immediately taken out by Wannabe.
Ejected.
Yeah, the focus fire was insane. Gummy also now taken out, so it looks like it's just Niche just trying to hold out on the point as long as possible. The immortality is thrown in, but a little bit far. He has to run over there to make it back in time. The beat comes through from Magic Mayball. Niche is down. Supreme is down. How many more is going to go down before this point is finally captured and taken completely by Team 2? Well, there's your answer. It looks like about 4 or 5.
Take a breath, man. That fight was long, but great stall there. Almost turned it a few times there. But man, I love personally seeing that tank play on that map.
Yeah, and they did such an amazing job pairing all their abilities together to get the maximum value, which they did multiple times.
Yeah, now you're going to basically see the complete opposite on this map, a very, very wide open, very vertical map. You'll see some fair play probably on this map. You might even see a Hammond coming around.
Yeah, so, Hammond, no surprise there. Normally paired with that Orisa.
Yeah, if you were a fan of that last map, you might not like this one because you're for a very, very different type of fight.
Yeah, and that's what I love so much about King of the Hill maps. They're just so versatile because they're 3 maps in one, you know? There's not a lot of play time, granted, on each of these maps, but the play differences that could be made here are just so much fun to watch and see how teams kind of take it.
Yeah, it really forces you to, A, plan ahead, and B, have multiple hero pools. You can't just one-trick a meta hero.
Yeah, I mean, and losing out right now on the Hammond, the first pick is off, so it could be a lot more difficult for them to actually try to capture this point. Only about 3 of them on there, but more people run in here. Gummy actually trying to get a little bit of damage in there with the pile drive, but guess who's back? Devil, you guys took too long. Actually, Gummy now is the Hammond that's going to be taken out of the fight. Niche following behind. It looks like Team 2 is going to be able to secure this now that both the tanks are gone. Actually running in there, PMA trying to get the res through. A little bit of hope and a dream right now, but looks like Team 2 is going to be the first one to take the point.
Yeah, Hammond breaks all the rules of that reset time. You think, okay, we got to kill. We've got 20, 25, 30 seconds until somebody comes back on the map. No, as soon as that Hammond respawns, he's only got about a 3 to 4 second trip before he's back on point.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Take is actually going to switch over to the McCree here to try to battle this the Far Mercy a little bit more. The Far battle may be, it actually looks like right now Wannabe is the one that's trying to initiate a Far battle. Meanwhile, Sai is actually kind of just going more for the damage on the ground here. It doesn't look like it's actually going to be able to do much. Take Me, though, is going to actually be the one to get a pick first here. PG1 getting taken out, but Devil falling behind. The tank lineup is gone again now. Wannabe actually gets a pretty good concussive blast onto Gummy, taking him off the map.
Oh.
But all for none, it looks like, as Scion is about to take this point.
Take Me getting 3 kills during that fight. This McCree swap paying off immediately. He's already halfway to a Deadeye and looking for more.
Yeah, and Devil just getting on that point to try to stall it out a little bit more. Gained himself another roughly 10%. But it looks like going back to spawn here. All of these ultimates right now are about to come up from both teams, and so, it could get pretty colorful here in a second.
Yeah, the McCree swap doing double duty. Not only is he able to dink down the Pharah, but the Flashbang also helps keep that Wrecking Ball in check, not letting him spin to win, not letting him, dive that backline like he wants to, at will.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these barrages actually are going to be able to do here because no one's really got the stuff to kind of counter that except maybe an invincibility. And actually, the immortality comes down. Wannabe was ready for Sai to use that, and now it has to back up. Wannabe using his barrage a little low there. Both of these mines now out on the point, breaking each other. Magic Mayball, though, is going to be the one to get a pick Take Me using that high noon, gets that far out of the play, but CJ, of course, just absolutely ready with that res, back in the fight now, so Take Me's gonna have to use just his raw aiming skill to try to take him out, and actually the mirror going down right now to try to help that out. Now the Blizzard on point is gonna be able to take out Psy, but Magic 8-Ball also going down here because of the mines, and it looks like it's actually maybe going a little bit more towards Scion's favor than what I previously thought. I looked like Team 2 might have been able to turn this back around, getting close to capturing it back, but Scion able to hold it a little bit longer.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, they had to use a lot of their abilities just to stay in that fight, and once they ran out, you had the ultimates ready to go on the other side and just wore them down. It's a battle of attrition.
Yeah, absolutely a battle of attrition, especially when you're going up against a relative mirror matchup right now. Really the only difference is the Mei and the McCree going at each other, which honestly seems to be doing what feels like a little bit more. I feel like the Mei isn't getting as much value as Meis usually do. So now coming up on this last fight here, hopefully they're going to be able to get it with wall off, but losing out on Magic 8-Ball already is crucial.
Oh, and the
damage
there for Scion.
Oh my gosh, this is exactly what Scion want to see in the last legs of the fight there. They lost out on Magic 8-Ball. The high noon takes out the Far Mercy. This point is theirs and theirs to keep.
That McCree, so as soon as they swapped McCree, I think they took the first fight and never gave up the point. That was a phenomenal swap.
Yeah, that McCree definitely changed up the fight for them. Not only was the McCree getting kills, but they were also challenging that Pharah in the air and making them take on different positions to try to open up their own Pharah's gameplay.
Yeah, you've got to wonder why we didn't see any swaps on the side of T2 there when that McCree was being so darn effective.
Yeah, I mean, and I felt like the Mei really wasn't that effective, which is normally something very strange to hear for a Mei, especially when you're in such these high-level games. But because I think of the team composition, the Mei wasn't able to get to the point as often as they wanted to be, so making it hard to get those high-value walls. Yeah,
Mei, very good job controlling the point, but Scion did a good job of fighting off the point, using that open area with the McCree, with the Fair Mercy, you know, just not letting the Mei play the fight she wanted to.
Yeah, and right now it looks like they're going to be going more back to that double shield. The support lineup's going to be a little bit different on both sides here. One team going a little bit more meta, and it looks like the meta team is actually going to be the one that's taking the point here. Everyone on the ground is getting absolutely rolled. Meanwhile, the Pharah is just in the sky trying to do whatever they can. Have to back up, though.
Yeah, early kills from Scion, and they're doing a good job of, you know, there's two ways of dealing with a pharmacy. You either try to focus the pharmacy down and then go for the ground, or you focus the full on the ground and then just ignore the pharmacy. And it looks like that's what they're going with, is they're going to take this almost 6v4-esque fight.
Yeah, now it looks like maybe it could help out a bit more since she's in the backline and off angle right now. And actually the team split by that Mei wall here could prove to do a lot of damage, not getting that immortality that they had. Now down their Sigma, but it looks like also losing CJ here. The fight, what seemed to be even for a second there, was easily turned all the way back over in a Team 2's favor with a bunch of picks really fast.
Yeah, and you called it. Wannabe doing an excellent job in that back line, now creating two angles to where they had to deal with the Fair because she was close enough to do splash damage onto multiple heroes and hit those direct shots, and having to deal with that frontal assault. It was just too much.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately the goal with the Pharah, is to try to take out that Sigma shield, make them use that for the Pharah. That way, instead of rotating it with the Orisa shield, it's like they're just going to have it down for so long, it might not even be worth it. The barrage coming through, able to pick up two, a really good pull, make that three. Devil actually able to get a kill right afterwards. The Rez, of course, is going to be ready to come through on Wannabe, and so a pretty quick team fight win right there.
Yeah, big Hulk barrage there. Nice combo, only needing to use one ultimate, keeping that ult economy going. You have pretty much 5 ultimates ready to go, although you have almost 5 ultimates ready to go on the opposite side as well. So get ready for a big fight here, everybody.
Yeah, get ready for a little bit of color on the screen, as it seems. It looks like actually taking a really far away approach, Wannabe. The mirror coming down, or the window coming down, but the Mei wall is going to be able to stop a little bit of that damage coming through. The pull goes. They're actually able to pick up Niche here. Pretty big. Losing out on that Orisa pretty much means a team fight lost. They have to back up now and wait for them to respawn.
Yeah. Nick getting that early kill, that headshot on the Mei.
Yeah, making it really easy for them to continue on. Oh, you're all good. Happens.
Oh, man.
You talk so much, you know, and sometimes your words will fumble in your mouth, and it feels like you just choke on your own words. It's weird.
This Fair is doing an excellent job, though, of just peppering these gates, punishing them anytime they try to move through.
Yeah, speaking of punishments, right now it looks like both these blizzards are going down, punishing any of the players inside of that by freezing them. But a really good Transcendence is going to be able to keep a few up, but not for long. CJ actually taking out the Widow right now, so now a big Sigma Flux comes down, making a few people low and taking 2 completely out of the fight. And with about 95% on the board, I don't think anybody's actually going to be able to get there in time. I say that though, but Sai gets there on that Doomfist, actually able to initiate the overtime, so they might be able to make it there. Wannabe though using that barrage, stopping Gummy from getting in the point, which could be absolutely massive because of how much health Gummy can get on that Hammond. And now PMA falling down. The Tracer just trying to stay on the point right now, waiting to get some heals. Nitch takes a little bit of damage himself, decides to back off. Sai back in this fight, but immediately taken down. Take Me in the back though, trying to get a little bit of damage through here. Gummy with the pile drive. Doesn't look like they're actually going to be able to pick anybody off, I tell you that. But now, Magic Maypal is out of the fight. I think this may be it, though. No one's able to touch the point in time in Team 2, taking the second map.
Yeah, I actually really like that barrage onto the hand. Like you said, a lot of health on that 600 to start off with. Can use that adaptive shield to get up to another 600, depending on how many people are around. And can very high mobility, very hard to pin down. And you take that out right away and makes that focus fire much, much easier.
Yeah, and I think it kind of felt like that was the playmaker there, was that barrage. I mean, maybe not that exact last one. It takes out the Hammond, which could be a lot of stall time, so that was good. But earlier when they were able to pick up the point, all they really needed to use was the barrage, and they took another team fight win and let everyone else build up their ultimates to kind of snowball the rest of the map into their favor.
Yeah, credit to Devil here, getting not only well-placed and well-timed halts, but getting a lot of people, getting 3, 4, 5 people per halt, so that when they do these combos, you're getting a massive amount of value on them.
Yeah, and now going forward, Scion's going to be the one to pick the map here, and like they've said, they don't really want to switch up the compositions too much. They want to stick to the meta, and we kind of saw that maybe sticking to the meta wasn't necessarily what they should be afraid of. Like we saw in the second map of Li Jiang, that it was actually pretty good for them using that like Ball, McCree, Farah, the kind of weirder composition. It plays really well, of course, with that map. So the style of it's really good, but I think that they maybe don't want to necessarily stick with meta. Maybe they want to change things up a little bit. It seems like they were doing really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call. It's one of those things, do you want to play what we've scrimmed a lot, what we've practiced a lot, what we set up a lot, or if that's not working, do we just try something new that we feel like counters? And it's that tough balance of, well, we've practiced this a lot so we know it, but this is what, technically is supposed to counter it, but we don't have as much practice on it, so they're not as comfortable maybe. You never know. And that's why scrimming is, getting these practices in is so important, so that way you can get as much time onto as many different compositions as possible, so that way you're comfortable when it comes time to actually use it in a real match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that even though they say they may not have had so much scrim time, I think they're still doing a fantastic job. So right now, I think that it could be a little bit more difficult for Team 2 to continue on, especially if they play on maps that are really heavy set in the meta. And I mean, looking at it right now, being on Rialto, a map that you can play that Farah on, and we saw in our earlier match that there was a bit of a Farah battle going on alongside some Widows trying to also take out those Farahs. So that was very fun to watch. I'm hoping we get to see a similar sort of DPS lineup here, because I think that maybe if we switch out that Widow for McCree, that Take Me was doing such a good job on, that could be really good. Of course, normally if you're playing McCree, you usually are also able to play a Widow as well. So maybe we do see that come through here. I would like to, but I can see these teams kind of sticking more to the meta side.
Yeah, there are some portions of this map where you do get the long sight lines. It looks initially, although everything is subject to change, looks like we are going to get that fair battle to start off with. But I'm with you. I would love to see Take Me on the McCree instead of this Hanzo pick. It was just so effective at controlling the sky and the ground that, you just wonder, was it just for that map specific? What's going on? Why they're not going back to it when it was so effective?
Yeah, and now, I mean, it could be a little bit difficult for them to start pushing up through here. Of course, since they are on the offense, starting off for Scion, they will kind of, you know, have a little bit more of that leeway when it comes to changing and actually switching over to that Widowmaker now. They hear that Pharah, they know they want to do it, so that they will. So that's going to make it actually a lot more difficult, I feel like, for Wannabe to try to do much in the fight, because he's got to have a Widow focusing him and the Pharah in the sky also trying to do damage to him.
Yeah, Wannabe took a shot right out of the gate and has been on the back foot ever since this map started.
Yeah, and now it looks like the tanks are just getting pushed back more and more on the side of Team 2 as they're trying to stay their defense here. The Maywall comes up, it freezes the Immortality, so it actually isn't able to come through. It looks like it now will be. The freeze getting a few people, and a super fast window coming through right now from Magic Mayball with about 30 seconds on the clock. Doing really good so far. Was able to put through a little bit of damage, but wasn't able to secure a kill. They can see them now coming in from the right side, and they're just trying to feel their way through, see what they can try to get here. The pull's coming through now from both sides. Doesn't look like either team is actually going to be able to secure a kill so far.
A very early window, and although it didn't get any kills, it allowed them to hold this corner, allowed them to stabilize, because there's a very strong push coming out of the gate. But now they're able to play around this corner a little bit. Now they can break line of sight.
Yeah, and now using that barrage, wasn't actually able to pick up anything. Wannabe just had free pop shots at him. That Immortality, very good placement, far away from the barrage, but in close enough proximity to make sure that all of his teammates were in that Magic Mayball. Doing a really good job with that right now, and actually able to pick up the kill on Gummy as well.
Yeah, Wannabe had the high ground advantage of that barrage, and that's one of the troubles when you have that Pharah v Pharah is if you're not, if you don't have that other Pharah in sight, she can quickly take you out. You know, two quick shots, one quick shot if you had some friends focusing on her as well, and you're out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now is something we're gonna be seeing here in a second. Actually, Wannabe takes out Say, or Sai rather, and now actually a little bit of a drink for PMA. Gets concussive blasted into that. Not really anywhere they can go. But the Widow sights are out now, so it should be a lot easier for Take Me to try to pick off a few people here. But running into these double shields makes it very difficult. And right now, Wannabe's doing an amazing job playing around all these buildings to try to stop the Widow from getting them. But Supreme, of course, is going to be able to look right through. He's up at that high ground, gets CJ out of position, so they're missing out on that Mercy, so they don't have that damage boost. And now Sai is actually going to be able to amplify that just by taking out Wannabe. He has no heals, he has no damage amplification. PG1, though, surprisingly taking him out. The Blizzard comes through. The Immortality's down. The Res, though, looks like it's going to be able to pick up Sai, but so many kills now are in the side of Team 2 that it looks like they're going to be able to hold this for a little bit longer.
Yeah, Team 2 turning that around very quickly, but I liked the aggressiveness of Sai. As soon as CJ went down, that Mercy went down, he immediately found Wannabe and started peppering into him, knowing that he had that Mercy advantage, knowing that he could be healed up, and Wannabe could not.
Yeah, and now Take Me actually getting a pick here onto Nick. Really good. Are they going to decide to use the res on that? I'm not quite sure yet. Actually, the Flux is going to be used. They're using the barrage in the back line, but of course, every time you use that barrage, you're stuck in place. So, of course, the enemy Pharah is going to go ahead and target you down, and now actually losing out on both the Pharah and the Mercy. So now it looks like Scion has a little bit more room to breathe. They're able to get this through here, but with not a lot of time remaining on the clock.
Yeah, something they might want to start doing is maybe more lower ground barrages and then throwing an Immortality field along with it, so that way, you know, she can't just be taken out right away, because Wannabe is having some difficulty here getting quality barrages off on this map.
Yeah, and now as they slowly move in here, this Maywall has been put up to try to save the shields a little bit here as they move forward. Trying to get in the back line right now. Wannabe isn't quite able to do that, so they have to kind of fight from that front spot. The pull comes through. Both of these windows are down, and it looks like actually right now, the only one that's seeing value is Supreme's actually able to take out Magic Mayball and Nick. Now them going down, it looks like they're going to be able to cap this point with pretty much no time left on the clock, but now getting at 2:30 because they capped.
Yeah, getting very close to overtime there, so not a lot of time on the second point, and we've seen some great stalls here around this stair corner where you can hold teams for 3-4 minutes easily, and they've only got 2 to do this.
Yeah, so can be a little bit more difficult. Normally this is kind of the arguably easiest place to try to cap this second point here. The tanks are going to have to back up. They try to take a little bit of space. Not quite able to amplify that too much, but with how many ultimates they have in the bank right now on the side of Scion, could let them go forward a little bit more. The barrage actually comes through and takes out the Sigma, but again taken out by that counterpart Pharah. And now going into this fight, these reses are coming through here. Who's going to be coming out on top with all these ultimates right now being used? It looks like it should be going over to the side of Scion as they push forward here. The Bongo and now the Flux as well, able to pick up 3, but the Blizzard coming down here. It's got a few people in it, but with all your teammates dead, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to amplify that too much. CJ just on the point right now, trying to put in a little bit of damage. Actually takes out Niche, going back to spawn.
Ooh, Niche is going to be a little salty about that one, I bet. Everybody's frozen. Why me? Why me?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you see your opportunity to take it. Niche obviously had to be low, otherwise it was like, why target the tank, you know, if you're playing the Mercy, but... Now going into this fight, both windows have been down, but the barrage comes through. It looks like that barrage is going to be able to pick up a few people here, and actually one to be still able to stay up here. CJ actually going to be the one to kill Psy.
The most effective barrage we've seen this map, and a fantastic stall here with 0.07 meters on the clock, basically, and this could be a second point hold. They got one fight left here, and it's gonna be a tough one because they've got the high ground advantage. They've got no ultimates though on either side, so it's just gonna be a straight up fight.
Yeah, should be good here. Of course, when it did come down to that one fight territory, Scion was able to take it. But looking at both these teams right now, it doesn't look like anyone's actually going to be able to build their ult in time before this point is capped. Possibly, actually, this Dragon is going to be the closest thing. So as long as Take is going to be able to stay up, you know, that's going to be potentially your win condition. Supreme now, though, getting super close to that window. So also that could be potential here. The Immortality's down and now out. Nick in there used his Ice Cube to stay alive from that Dragon. Actually going for the freeze right now on a Gummy. The freeze is done. Nick has gone through there, but Psy up at the top rope, gonna be able to take out PG1 right now. The picks going side to side right now, but it looks like Supreme's gonna be able to take out a few people, and they're gonna be able to cap the point here for Scion.
Yeah, Scion doing an excellent job there. I thought the Immortality field may have come out a little bit early, but it kept everybody alive and kept that push going. And honestly, one of the better, again, another better barrage that we've seen compared to earlier in this map.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these barrages have kind of been, you know, pretty much lackluster on both sides. They were able both to get at least one good barrage in, but normally kind of felt like a press Q to die, you know?
Yeah.
And now, though, Blizzard absolutely massive with a great pull, leading everybody in there, immediately taking out that Immortality. There's nothing anyone can do, and a super quick team kill.
5-man Blizzard by Nick. God, that was just amazing. And that was a fantastic ultimate. And I'm actually loving these swaps off of the Pharaohs now in this last point, because once you get inside that building, you pretty much have no verticality. It's tough to get those rockets in. And I'm liking the Hanzo swaps here on both sides.
Yeah, Hanzo very powerful. He has that one-shot potential and a really good shield break. Both these windows going down at the same time. Who's going to see more value, though? One Immortality seems to be a little too far away, though, so Devil's going to get taken out here. The Flux going through is able to pick up a few members from the side of Scion and actually take out 2 of them. Take Me and Niche both out of the fight here, makes it a little bit more difficult for them, but a really good accretion, actually. Gummy and Psy are the ones that are going to be getting kills here. Gummy actually with a 3K as they push forward here, but they're going to be missing out on that Orisa and that Hanzo. Meanwhile, everyone else is going to be coming from their spawn at relatively the same time, so they do have the potential to hold this.
Spawn advantage here from Team 2, but ultimate advantage over to Scion, I would say.
Yeah, and it looks like that ultimate is going to use right now. CJ actually able to take out PMA as they get back to Immortality, keeping PG1 up for a little bit longer. Psy, though, is actually able to take out Magic Maple. That's a lot of heals they're going to be missing out on, especially right now since that Bongo's going through. They're going to be taking a lot of damage. It looks like the Maywall is actually going to stop a lot of those players from touching the point. And a very, very far push, given how little time they had every time they capped.
Yeah, very much so. But an excellent third point there by Nick. Had that great Maywall there at the end, you know, keep them off the point. Had that huge team killing Blizzard. You know, he really stepped it up on that third point and made it made a strong hold for them to make sure that the Scion did not get all 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, especially I think it was that first fight after they capped the second point, where that was an amazing. I think it was a 6-man Blizzard even.
Yeah.
So and a great pull into that. So Devil, of course, absolutely helping set that up. Great Blizzard. So that was a really good team play by them. Hopefully we can see that also on their offense here. But they did let that car get pushed pretty far, so they have to be careful of getting hold here on the first point. Normally, if teams can get through this first point, they can make it through the second, Once they get through that second, that's where the real challenge starts to set in yet again.
Yeah, and it looks like Team 2 here might have the better comp, actually, without having that Pharah. I kind of like it. They'll have the counter with Wannabe on the whip stays to take Scion out of the skies, and then with Nick to control the ground. I much prefer this comp.
Yeah, it could be really good going into it right now, but you know, I don't know if I completely agree with CJ staying on the Widow. I imagine they're going to be pocketing Wannabe on the Mercy. I imagine they're going to be pocketing Wannabe on the Widow.
Trying to get those single shots.
To try to take out that Far Mercy fast as possible. But it looks like they're actually going to switch over now to the Pharah. So it looks like they're going to actually just be switching Wannabe over to the Pharah. Meanwhile, Nick stays on the Mei. So they don't have that Widow to kind of do a double pressure thing that they were doing on the side of Scion at the start, which could be helpful for them.
Yeah, it's a bold move, Cotton, but let's see how this plays out for them. And yeah. I much preferred the Widow, because that fair v fair battle can be very, very tough sometimes.
Yeah, and it feels like if you have a Widow that maybe you can put a little bit more damage onto the ground, because the Widow can control some of the airspace just because of sight lines. Yeah. Right now, the fight's taking on a little bit slow here. Both the teams used their immortalities earlier. They're going to be coming back up soon. And another fast window coming in for Magic 8-Ball here. Immortality's down for both sides right now. And now Answered, Supreme puts down his window. They're going to have to back up. They know that theirs isn't going to be up for much longer. They don't have their immortality. Just kind of waited out for a second, but this Dragon goes in there, tries to get a pick, and actually does a little bit of damage over on a PG when he gets healed up relatively quick, though. Now running back over to the point here, looking at ultimates here. Looks like Gummy is pretty close to his. Probably going to use it in a second here. I imagine as soon as they get it, they will be using it. Now just backing up, just doing a little bit of that poke damage to try and get that. The pull going through right now. Supreme actually going to be the one taken out by Wannabe over on that far. But the Flux coming through is actually going to be able to pick up 3, both the tanks and the Mei. And right now the Barrage coming through to put in even more damage on top of that. It looks like Scion's going to be able to hold this here with just how much damage they were able to put on those tanks while they were stuck in that Gravital Flux.
That was a fantastic Graviton Flux there. As soon as the Baptiste went down, he knew that, okay, Baptiste is out of the game right now. No immortality field in place, so he can use that Flux without having to worry about everybody staying alive. Does a ton of damage, and then just cleaned up there by Psy.
Yeah, really good job. And now they use the window a little bit early in the fight, honestly. They might want that back right about now as they come through the side here, but actually, Psy is going to be able to take down Nick. Now a few in this Gravital Flux can take them down. No one quite out yet. Not really too much follow-up to go with that, but the window coming down now, providing that damage and the heals amplifications through that. And a really good pull might be able actually to hit him, and that it does. Magic 8-Ball now taken out because of that, but it looks like the Pharah battle has been won, and now just trying to take out PMA. Wannabe is able to do that. The fight's still very even, not really in anyone's favor, but Supreme taking out Wannabe could actually be what turns it right now, and actually a really good accretion onto CJ.
Yeah, Scion doing an excellent job of winning the ground. You know, they may not have fared so well in that Pharah battle, but if you take out 4 and there's only 2 left on the other team, well, you kind of win that fight.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be able actually to possibly hold this here because they have a few ultimates in the bank right now. They're coming close to that barrage. Wannabe has it, so he might be able to do something with that from a distance. The Blizzard going down, though, right now. The immortality there to make sure that they stay up as long as possible. Looks like it's going to be able to do just that. Keep them up right now. And the barrage with the pole goes through. It's able to pick up 2 really big picks, but in the back line, Psy, there he is. Able to put through more damage. Right now, Devil's the one getting all the kills with a 3K. Able to cap the point with about 30 seconds left on the clock here.
Yeah, a little bit more time left than Scion had on their attack, but still not a ton of time. I wasn't the biggest fan of that Blizzard. I would have liked to see them try to bait out the immortality field first, but you have to imagine that Supreme's holding on to that specifically for the Blizzard at that point.
Yeah, and now as they start to make their way up here, they're past the bridge already. They haven't taken too much space relatively. They haven't gone underneath this second bridge here. So maybe we see them just wait, try to play for a pick. They're not playing super aggressive right now, but they do have this Gravital Flux coming up here. They use the window alongside that immortality. Wannabe is the one that's actually going to be taken out here as they're just sitting on this car. PG1 eating as much as possible and now having to back up.
Look for a Flux here, knowing that immortality field is down. if they needed to win this fight. But it looks like they're gonna win it just on pure mechanical skill at this point, and they get to hold on to the flux.
Yeah, able to get a few picks to start off there, and then everyone as they're backing up is just taking more and more shots to the back. So definitely was going to make it hard for them. But now going into this next fight, we have a few ults over on the side of Team 2, but quite a few more on the side of Scion right now, who's going to be the ones that are ultimately trying to set the tempo for this next engagement, I believe.
Yeah, like I said, a big thing to watch is watch the immortality field. Whoever throws that down first probably is going to lose the fight.
Yeah, and the immortality is actually down by both right now. It looks like they're taking out relatively the same time. The flux is going to come through, actually able to pick up two squishies in that. Doesn't look like anything's going to be able to come from that, though. No one going down quite yet. PMA, that Valk has ran out now. Got to be really careful. Wannabe actually going down, so now the battle for the skies is absolutely uncontested. And Say is going in there. Sai, dang it, I did it again. Is able to pick up a 4K right there. Only one with the barrage, but 3 with just that regular missile.
Yeah, Sai, as soon as he took down that enemy, oh gosh, that was bullying. Reported for cyberbullying there.
Imagine. Shaking.
But yeah, Sai, as soon as he took the enemy fair down, knowing that he couldn't really be countered, just immediately releases that barrage. Gets one with the barrage, but then follows up his own ultimate with a triple.
Yeah, right now, Devil getting taken out. With only about 30 seconds remaining, isn't exactly what they want to see here. And PG1 actually is probably going to go down in a second, too. The immortality was thrown, but a little too far onto the stairs. They have to back up. They only have about 20 seconds left, and PG1 has to come out of that spawn. You know, what are they going to do here? They have a few ultimates to try to work with. Maybe you send Wannabe over on the right to flank around behind and try to get something done. But, of course, you're just going to get met with everyone now looking over at you, and you get hit directly with a rocket, so now you have to back up. Meanwhile, the rest of your team now, or as many as possible, running in here. The Blizzard on the point. It doesn't look like it's actually going to be able to pick up anybody because the Fortify was on Niche, able to use that. Now the window coming down here. The wall, though, pretty good to negate a little bit more damage here as they make their way forward. Wannabe, though, finally wins that far battle. Devil just trying to get on the point is actually taken down too fast because of that window. The immortality coming down is going to be able to keep that Mercy alive here. And actually now, Sai is back on that Pharah. The team fight looks like it's pretty back and forth. Team 2 might actually be able to take it here, but Devil going down. No one is able to push this cart forward as slowly and slowly more Scion comes in, putting down more and more damage. Now back Niche over on the Hammond, able to put through a little bit more damage with that pile drive, and it looks like it's all over now for Team 2. Just PG1 on the point. Meanwhile, everyone on the side of Scion has made it back.
Oh man, Scion with a fantastic hold there at the end of the second point. Not the greatest value Blizzard from Nick there at the end. Was more of a zoning Blizzard. You would have liked to see him hold on to that until that final fight really solidified there at the end point there. Instead, you know, Scion was able to just back up, get out of the Blizzard, keep all 6 members alive, and counter.
Yeah, and Supreme right there trying to keep it as far for as long as possible and actually able to take out the Far Mercy. Supreme did a really good job there, I feel like, on that Baptiste all around.
Yeah, fantastic job. Great timing on his immortality fields. Very, very quick windows on both attack and defense. I think around 30 seconds on both sides was absolutely phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, and of course Baptiste on the other side, Magic 8 Ball also doing very good, getting a lot of healing in there, getting those windows super fast, able to just put through so much healing. It's insane. And now, as we're in between matches, or in between maps, Team 2 is now going to be deciding the next map here, losing that one. 2-1 in favor of Scion right now. Don't forget to go below and vote for your MVP. Remember, whoever you vote for, the majority wins, will be coming in here, and we will be able to have an interview with them. So whoever you feel like is that MVP for tonight so far, don't forget to go down below and make sure that you vote for them.
Yes, please remember, your voice matters. So whoever you want to hear from, or if you think somebody's having a particularly awesome performance, you know, give them that click. And man, it's a tough pick tonight. And, you know, you've got a lot of tanks on both sides doing excellent jobs. Both of these Baptistes doing phenomenal jobs. I mean, it's going to be tough. I do not envy our viewers picking it.
Yeah, like it is definitely going to be something difficult to pick here. We've seen so many good plays, like you said, from the tanks, from the supports, from excuse me, the DPS, everybody, it feels like, is doing their job, so in this matchup where it's just kind of been a back and forth, what it feels like, I mean, that's kind of what you got to expect when we see both these teams doing exactly what they need to do. But of course, one team's going to be able to pick up on something that maybe is a little bit of a weakness for the other team during a fight, and you're going to be able to go in on that and amplify that mistake to make it what is that team fight winning, mistake.
Yeah, and looks like we're going to go to Eichenwald here, another fair map possibly. So I really want to see Take Me on this McCree again. If I feel like that's going to be the best chance that they're going to have to solidify this map and take the win home for them. What do you think? Do you want to see him on that Hanzo again, or would you rather the McCree?
I really like the McCree. I think the McCree was doing a really good job at trying to take out that Far Mercy, but I think I would prefer him to stay on the Hanzo here, just kind of because if they have their own Far Mercy, then that should be, I feel like it should be their job. That way they still have a lot of damage onto the shields. It looks like he's going to actually be going over onto the McCree alongside a Mei. So this is good. This is what I wanted to see if he did go McCree, is that they don't run that Far Mercy. That way there is still something that's kind of fighting back that duo. So that's pretty good. I like that.
Looks like they're going to focus purely on the ground battle here. They're going to let Take Me kind of probably take a few pot shots at this guy, but then focus down on this ground battle because they're going to need his help breaking these shields. Like I said, although McCree not the best shield break, still pretty good at it.
Yeah, he can definitely put through a lot of damage, especially just do a quick right click, roll, right click. I mean, that's already a bunch done to your shields that have been nerfed. So maybe you got to back up, keep him down for a second. But going into this fight here, Wannabe looks like he's going to be taking that long way around to get into the back line and make them try to fight that two-front war.
Yeah, they're definitely making him look in multiple directions here, but a good wall. Blocking everybody off, making them now fight on three fronts, though.
Yeah, and actually, losing that immortality right about now leads for the team to kind of get in and get a little more aggressive here. Take Me trying to make sure that he stays up because he knows he's the Far counter. If he goes down, that means that Far is allowed to just run in there for free. Both these windows now going down at the same time, but the immortality is actually going to get taken down first over on the side of Team 2. They're trying to take out the Sigma. He's frozen, as well as Niche, but they can't quite follow up on it. But it looks like finally Niche is going to go down, and so is Sai. Or Sai. I did it again. I am so sorry, Sai. Wait, what? Anyways, there goes Gummy. Everybody's now taken down onto the point here. Scion not quite able to hold it for as long as they wanted to here. Everybody was so focused on trying to get that Mei frozen there that a lot of those rockets were kind of just coming to the back line, doing a lot of damage and allowing the rest of the team to push up.
Yeah, excellent job by Wannabe getting the full flank on there. Not just doing a side, going the full 180, getting behind everybody. So now you have the McCree only looking at it. So now it's a 1v2 essentially with the Pharmacy versus a McCree. And while Take Me has shown fantastic skill on this Cree against it, without any sort of help whatsoever, it just wasn't enough.
So it would seem, and it looks like right now staying on that, just, they have that high noon. It could be better once they start to get forced more into the open here, but it looks like right now the Blizzard going down, and now the high noon comes through. It looks like it's actually going to be able to pick up Magic Mate Ball. Now the Flux is also coming through. They know they don't have the Immortality or that Transcendence. Now trying to run up and get as many kills as possible. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any, actually. Sai able to pick up 2, and now Take also getting 1 as well, and it looks like the Far Mercy just resetting themselves before they feed.
An excellent engagement there by Scion. I really liked it. Wannabe and CJ were still kind of by that gate, a pretty far ways back, trying to rain in rockets from afar, and they saw that they could push forward real quick and get a quick 6v4, and they took it, and you love seeing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're staying on this Far Mercy. They still feel very confident on it. They're trying to primarily now target Take. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is actually going through Castle here. I imagine trying to go on this bridge and take the high ground possibly, or just going to run in and take the fight right to them through there, actually able to take out Gummy. Pretty big right now, but everybody's so close quarters along with the pole. A very massive Blizzard. The Immortality, though, is down to try to keep them up for a little bit longer here. The Bongo also has come through, but this team fight now a lot more even, or actually possibly even favoring Scion now. Looks like a up right now, just a 2v3, make that a 1v3. Niche looks like he's about to go down here. Gummy thought about making his way back, fires a couple shots, but decides maybe it's the best if he doesn't just immediately drop onto the point.
Yeah, Gummy doing a good job here. I did like Niche going to dying, getting a little extra stall there, allowing time for the rest of his team to get out. It looks like we're going to get one last 6v6 here right before second point.
Potentially one last 6v6 depending on how it goes. And actually the high noon with the flux is a pretty good combo, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to see much. Want to be able to pick up 2 here, still pretty big. Team 2, this could be theirs to walk forward and take. They'll pull to almost get them off the point here, and actually a Boop is going to be the one that's going to take off Gummy. Now just Niche left on the point, uses that Fortify. No one's going to be able to touch that again in time, so whoever spawns is just going to try to hurry up and run back. Now, still on that far mercy, are probably going to go back and make their switch.
Yeah, timing was just a little bit off there on the side of Scion with that high noon flux combo. Usually you love seeing that, you can get a lot of kills. But unfortunately, I couldn't see if he was just a little late getting his ultimate or just a little late pulling the trigger. Waited till they were on the ground and in the immortality field before he clicked.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Wannabe actually switched over to that Junkrat. That's a lot of damage that has potential to come through here. Stuck in that Blizzard. Psy right now. It looks like he's going to get taken out by Wannabe, but Devil, the main tank, Arisa goes down. The Flux coming through is able to pick up quite a few, and they don't have that immortality. Able to pick up PMA, actually. Now, these tanks are the only ones left on the point. Everyone has to run back now and wait for the rest of their team to come through.
Yeah, now Wannabe is just going to spam these doorways with these Junkrat grenades and not let them even come close to point without taking a bunch of damage like that.
And now they had to use that Ice Block actually just get on point for Psy. But it looks like it might be enough to stall out a little bit longer. Gummy able to get a 2K right now despite losing their Baptiste. They were able to use that Transcendence. The Tire coming through here, kind of doing a little bit of a juke around. Actually just going to try to take out the Tracer, which they did, but it doesn't look like that's going to be fight turning or fight winning. So they pushed it pretty far. Still have a large amount of time to go through here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I expect Wannabe to swap after that. That was not the best timed Tire, but he knew he was going to swap anyway, so might as well get something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you got it, use it. Might as well. Even if you know you're going to be going down in a second here. Just going to switch. See what could happen, you know? Won't hurt.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, now going forward here, both these shields super low. Devil using that bongo, knowing the shields are down, but the Blizzard's going to go in there, not quite able to get eaten by PG1, but a pretty good immortality is going to keep them alive a little bit longer here. The bongo's still down, putting through a lot of damage, but now the Flux also following that up. Nick, it looks like he's possibly going to get taken down, and that he does. Wannabe, though, actually able to take out his counterpart here. Take is now out of the fight. They still have to back up, though, on the side of Team 2.
Yeah, you know, not the best fight they took there, but they're building up quite a suite of ultimates here. If they can survive and get out of here, next fight they'll have the Dragon, they'll have the Window, they'll probably have Blizzard, and if they can poke a little bit, they'll probably get a Graviton Flux.
Yeah, and the pull going through right now is really good. Devil able to take out Take. Really, really good pull. The Dragon comes through there, but a good immortality meets it, but gets taken out super fast by Wannabe. And also Nick now also going in there, getting a few kills of his own. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to make it in time. Supreme just goes into touch, waiting for the rest of his team to get there, but Take on the Tracer isn't able to stay there as long as possible. The team kill comes through, and over a minute on the clock.
Yeah, shame on me. I was about to say the Dragon buying space, but no, a good halt back into the Dragon gets 2, and they finish with that magic number of over a minute. And that's what you always want as the attacker, because if you finish with more than a minute, for those of you who might be new to the game, if both teams finish, but one of them finishes in overtime and you have more than a minute, the other team does not get to attack again.
Yeah, so the best they could do would be a draw if something like that were to happen.
Yep.
But, I mean, with about a minute 20 on the clock, able to capture all 3, you know, it is not a small task to accomplish something like that. So, on the side of Scion here, going with the offense, you know, I mean, I'm not quite sure what they're going to want to do here. Maybe they like to go over to that Pharah. You know, I felt like the Pharah matchup was very even fought when they did decide to do that. But maybe when they had to put someone over onto that McCree, and it was just them, again, it felt even. So whenever it feels like this Pharah matchup is going on, whether it be versus that McCree on hit scan or that other Pharah, if they don't have both of those, then it feels very 50-50, or maybe even kind of leans to the side of Wannabe because they're able to get a lot of that attention off of the rest of their team.
Yeah, Wannabe took quite a bit of time deciding on what he wanted to do on this map, whether he wanted to go with that Hanzo or get back on this Pharah. And I'm kind of liking the Pharah out of Wannabe. I think he's doing an excellent job getting these angles, being places where, Scion just isn't expecting him to be.
Yeah, and right now just find a couple missiles as they come out of their spawn. Get a little bit of damage if you can. Might as well.
Yeah, you either get alt charge or you'll wear down the shield at least a little bit.
Yeah, overall win-win.
Yep.
But as they make their way in here, it looks like they're gonna actually be using up all of their shields, and the Maywa looks like it's gonna be able to cut them off here. PG frozen, but able to stay alive because of a good immortality, keeping them up for a second longer here, and now using that grasp to also keep themselves up. They're backing out right now. Take being the first one to lose their lives here in this team fight, because Wannabe right now is on a very off angle, actually trying to take out Supreme right now, but Supreme holding his ground, making sure he doesn't die anytime soon. I take that back. There he goes. And now the rest of the team is following suit, going back to spawn.
Yeah, Wannabe doing a ton of damage in that fight, getting his ult charge before anybody else. He's a solid. Gosh, Take Me only at 15%. Oh, he swapped, sorry. But even Psy only at almost not even 50%, so he's way ahead of all the other DPS.
Yeah, just able to put through so much damage with little to no contesting, but because Take Me has switched over now, making it a little bit harder for that, and Wannabe actually stuck right now in between a couple of the roofs. Not much they can do waiting for that fly to come back up online. So they were a little bit behind in the fight, but the window now coming through here should try to help out a little bit of that lost ground that they could have had with that damage. Window now on both sides, though. The immortality pretty good to keep them going through, but actually PG1 gets taken out before they can get into that immortality. The window's still up. Looks like it's going to be able to take out that shield pretty quickly there. And Take Me now taking out Wannabe. Also taking out CJ, so now down your Far Mercy. It's a 3v5 right now, I believe. The Blizzard coming through here could change the fight, possibly, but it looks like Take Me is actually going into the backline and able to pick up a few more kills now, making this a surefire win.
A lot of ults committed there, trying to keep that barrage up. You had the Valk going on it. You had a Bongo going on late in the fight that almost turned it. You've only got the Graphitic Flux now going forward, and you've got almost 5 ultimates on the side of Scion here. This is not looking good for Team 2 right now.
Yeah, it's really just going to be about stalling as much time as they can on the second point, if they can. But with how many ults they have, as long as Scion use them in a sensible manner, it should be fine. Supreme actually is in the back line, taking out the Far Mercy, able to get the Mercy, and now Wannabe actually has to back off, being a little bit low in that Discord on them. High Noon coming through right now, able to take out PG. Both the tanks are down. You're losing out on your support on your Pharah, so everybody has to back up. Supreme with a very Supreme backline flank.
I don't know if the stream caught that, but that was so there's Supreme going on the huge flank and Zenyatta going all the way up the stairs on the side. Zenyatta, the sneakiest character in the game, because he has no footsteps. He floats everywhere. Yeah, so you can't hear him coming.
Oh, it looks like a pull outtake is going to get taken out of the fight pretty quick there, actually. But Wannabe has so much more free space now because of that. They might even want to decide to back up or hold close onto a wall or something where they're not quite as out in the open. It looks like that's what they're going to want to do. They're going back over to this bridge now and just going to wait for them to get back.
Yeah, I think Team 2 is going to just wait to get 6 because they don't want to push into this Pharah without their McCree. They know they're just going to take tons and tons of damage.
Yeah, now it actually looks like...
again.
Yeah, take swapping over to the Widow now, so a one-shot kill could be crucial there as long as they're able to hit that. Right now, the window coming through, though. Everybody's on the bridge right now. They could try to be moving the cart, but it'd be very dangerous to do that because of that Pharah and the window now up as well. The Pharah's actually sneaking in behind them into this room and actually takes out PMA, even though Supreme used that Transcendence to try to get over there as fast as possible, able to keep up the Widow for a little bit longer, but the Barrage comes through. Supreme getting taken out by that, but no one's on the cart right now. Can anybody make it there in time? It looks like they're going to be able to stop Niche before he caps it, but it looked like it could have been getting a little too close for comfort there. Now both of these tanks on the cart get taken out.
Yeah, Niche, you're not that sneaky as a giant robotic centaur, but I appreciate the thought. But it did a good job of not letting the payload roll back any further and did get some pushes, so now they only need to win this one fight, and they should be able to cap second point.
Yeah, now, with how much time they have, the second point cap looks like it's very very likely that it's going to come through, depending on how this next team fight goes. We have so many ultimates on both sides. I mean, honestly, I could definitely see Team 2 holding. I think it's actually more probable that Team 2 hold this. A good pull actually offside. So, I mean, Wannabe right now, the only one getting a kill. Make that 2 kills. So it looks like right now, Team 2 are going to be holding this for a little bit longer here.
Yeah, Wannabe just looking at Take Me and saying, anything you better, getting 3 kills as McCree right here before being taken out by that Flux.
It's an interesting Flux. I don't know if Gummy is going to decide to switch after that.
Yeah.
They were down quite a few players. Maybe they saw a lot of people low, so maybe there was a lot more potential than originally thought in that specific Flux there, but it doesn't look like it's going to come to any avail now. And the only thing they're really going to have going into this next fight is Bonga. So I think Team 2 are probably going to be able to keep this.
Yeah, the trouble with the Flux when you don't have any other DPS on your side is while they're up in the air, the enemies can be healed up. So you need to have that constant fire to keep them at where they were at when they got launched into the air. Otherwise, they're going to come down at almost full health.
Yeah, and it looks like right now the Sigma and the McCree are going up on the bridge together to try to provide, I imagine, a shield for when they want to use their high noon. But are they even going to need it, getting so many kills right now? But Supreme up there trying to take out CJ. But CJ really wanted to get that res through. It looks like they are going to be able to get that through in time right now. The only one close to the point is going to be Gummy right here on the Sigma. So just trying to hide in that back line is going to be the one to go for it. They don't really have any movement abilities. They know he's there. Everybody's just running into him. It's a 3v1. It's an absolute massacre right now. Stuck in the corner.
That man has a family, please.
The man has a family. But it looks like Sai is going to make his way over to the point. Makes the overtime go through here and might actually be able to freeze PG on that Sigma. So a potential kill could come through with that. Doesn't look like anyone's going to touch the cart in time, though. Actually, I take that back. Sai makes it there just in time, but the high noon is able to take out Gummy. And actually, I didn't even realize PMA got pulled off somewhere in that fight. In the back line, though, Take Me using that high noon gets taken out. Team 2 takes this one, and now it's a 2-2.
Ooh, a map 5. 2 map 5s in a row. Man, this has been a great night for Overwatch so far.
Yeah, I feel like...
And, Devil getting his due.
Yeah, Devil getting the play of the game here. I imagine it was the pull-off on the Mercy. And then everyone... Yeah, the Bongo comes through. Everyone else is getting picks. Looking good, looking good. So, pretty good play by them. Unfortunate for the Mercy. PMA just kind of... slowly falling to their downfall, but it happens.
Yeah, Devil tonight. I'm glad to see him finally get a little bit of love on this play of the game because he has had phenomenal halts pretty much all day, and him and PG1 have been in very good sync. Especially on Lijiang, they were fantastically aligned, but now they're getting back together. It looks like.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Now we're going to our map 5, though, so don't forget, vote for your MVP down below. This is the last map. Most likely indefinitely, unless we go on to a 2CP where there is the potential to draw, of course. Not a 2CP, anything, please.
What kind of map would you like to see out of Scion here?
I mean, honestly, I'd like to see probably... man, that's a tough one. I'd like to see... probably 2CP for them, honestly, just because I feel like they can do really good when they have the defense opportunities and having that close spawn to point. But Team 2 also is able to do really good with that, and it looks like it didn't work out too well for them earlier on Eichenwald. So I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm not quite sure which map they should go with.
Yeah, I think the trouble is if they select 2CP, we saw on Lijiang Control Center when they get brawly, which a lot of 2CP maps do, especially on point 2 when you're in that close quarters with the spawn so close. That combination, especially if it gets back onto Orisa Reinhardt between PG1 and Devil, that's a tough thing to stop. And I don't think you want to do that. I think they'll want to try to keep it long in kind of like King's Row-esque where they have a bit more sight lines and can play.
Yeah, I think.
But I think you want to keep away from the Pharaoh as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for them because I think Eichenwald was the closest thing that we could potentially have for Kings Row. Looks like we're actually going to go over to Gibraltar.
Oh.
Okay.
That's a sneaky pick there.
I like Gibraltar. I don't know what the general consensus on Gibraltar is, but I like Gibraltar. It's one of my favorite maps.
I like it for Scion, actually, because I think, especially on point 2, I think they'll be able to get them off the Pharah, and they'll be able to play maybe a like Reaper on that high control the ship in the middle there. May walls are very effective in the hangar there in the middle portion of it. So I think it's a good map for them.
Yeah, it looks like it could be. So there's a 99% chance that this will end up not being a draw. It is strangely enough possible. You don't see it every day. It's happened. I doubt it will happen. Watch me eat my words. But you know, I really like Gibraltar. I think that it offers so many different play styles. I think this first point usually can play really well with the meta, or back when it was a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for here?
Fun? No.
Back where it was more diverse. Where you play, yeah, back where it was more diverse. I think that you could definitely play dive on here.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of the maps where Winston kind of made his name, jumping to the high ground. You saw a lot of Winston Diva, you know, alternating, jumping off the high ground, harassing the ship, flying back up, you know, and stuff like that. You saw a lot of that interplay, and I think you can still see some differences here. You might see a Widow. You'll more than likely see Hanzo May, but you could see some interchange here, and Take Me playing with all of our hearts here, locking the legs right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying if Take Me doesn't lock the legs and stay on him, a tier will be shed.
He's gonna get a lot of angry DMs. It looks like he might be running out. Defense, he's running out.
No way. Nice.
Here we go.
Lock the legs. Let's go. All right, Gibraltar starting off with already a fun fight. Can already tell, but Omeywell's going to actually stop Niche from getting any heals whatsoever. CJ able to put through so much damage onto him and everyone else because of that Discord orb, but immediately rezzed up here by the Mercy as they slowly push forward here. They're just going to take this car and keep moving with it. They have to run back and drop now. Want to be staying up there a little bit longer to try to possibly get a pick on this Hanzo. Sees that there's a few people in the back line, trying to single them out in particular, that being that Soldier and Mercy.
Yeah, they're... Oh, an excellent headshot there, taking Lee out, and I don't think the res is up quite yet, having to use it on Niche earlier. So now they can push this numbers advantage.
It looks like they do actually get this up, but not before Supreme falls, and they all have to back up. On the high ground, though, you got to be careful. Take Me. He's going to take out CJ right now. Wannabe's trying to back up a little bit here, making sure that he's not going to be the next one to follow in that. Using that Storm Arrow, trying to back them off here. But there's Baptiste still pretty far behind.
Yeah, Take Me doing a fantastic job here, moving multiple positions, not staying in any one place. You know, moving around, creating multiple angles for the team.
Doing a really good job at that. That Hanzo all comes through, but Gummy right now with a 3K actually takes himself out while taking out CJ. A little bit of a kamikaze maneuver, as I believe that is called. Now PG actually gets kind of stalled out there, not necessarily on purpose, I believe. I think they're trying to take him out as fast as possible, but stalled out a little bit there.
Gummy's so strong, he's the only one who can take himself. If anybody's gonna kill me, it's gonna be me, he says.
I use the Gummy to destroy the Gummy. Now they push forward.
Big fight here, though. We might see a nice. Hopefully, we see a good attack visor here. He can take the high ground and maybe get behind him. It looks like.
Yeah, I hope they use the window with it. It'd be really fun to see that go through. That's a lot of damage. One of those is going to take him out before that happens, but Nick has also been taken out. The spawn's being so much closer, and actually PMA gets the res over onto the Soldier, but gets himself taken out pretty soon after that. The Blizzard goes down, and so does a Gravital Flux, it sounds like, but it doesn't look like it actually gets any. Oh no, he just waited to use it. CJ up at the top takes him out, but also slams on the ground because of that. So it looks like right now Supreme is the only one that's going to try to do anything about it. PG1 able to take him out though. So
what I really was hoping to see was a combination of almost like you see with the McCree High Moon, the Gravitic Flux into the tack visor while everyone's up in the air and you have the shield. I would have liked to see that, but theory crafting here, what I really want to see is the BAP window visor with a Mercy boost.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see. See a lot of damage go through there.
That's gonna be a ton of damage if that comes out.
Yeah, and right now, actually, PG1's kind of in their back line, trying to eat up a lot of that Soldier ultimate. They use the Blizzard, they use the Hanzo ult, they use the Transcendence. A lot of ults coming through here, but they've already lost PG. Nick also taking out Gummy though, but he's been rezzed back up, so it looks like this fight, despite how many ultimates they use on the side of Team 2, is going over to Scion right now.
Yes, numbers in favor of Scion there. Excellent job. Kind of fighting that war on two fronts, putting League on that high ground there. And, you know, everybody else, all the other four staying down low, forcing the Sigma to put all of his attention onto Take Me and not able to help anybody else out.
Yeah, this next fight, though, ultimate-wise, looks like it's going to be Supreme with his window versus Magic 8-Ball and Devil with their ultimates, but actually losing PG. Wow, very, very fast. Now they're going to go with the Bongo. And it looks like right now they might be able to pick up a kill on the Fire, but it looks like they won't be able to stay on that point a little bit longer here. Maybe, just maybe, trying to get a freeze on somebody. The window's up, the Doomfist is in, but now he is back in spawn. Along with CJ now, everybody from Team 2 is starting to go down little by little, one by one. Supreme getting so many picks right now, doing a lot. Meanwhile, the Soldier on the high ground just trying to put through a lot of damage here.
They do not have an answer for this high ground Soldier, it looks like. And CJ trying to jump off, but PMA telling him no. And you don't see a lot of mercy kills, but man, that was aggressive.
Yeah, and they're doing really good. Right now, they're actually trying to take up a lot of space here. They use the Maywall to stop the Rock from coming through and hitting them or their Orisa. So that's pretty good so far here. They're taking this early corner, that way they can keep this cart pushing as long as possible. The Blizzard coming through right now alongside that Visor. Looks like PG is going to be the first one taken out, going for that Immortality, so that way he can put through a lot more damage on the rest of the team. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to pick up any kills with that Visor in particular, but it did the damage it needed to do.
You're seeing it here first, folks. Lock your 76 when you get onto Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's just, I think it has to be mandatory.
It's just too strong.
You know? Number 6 hero, number 7 hero, well, whichever one it was, I forget the order. But right now the Flux coming through is going to be able to pick up a couple. Of course, that Immortality going down as soon as they hit that ground. That way they can stay up. But the Doomfist coming through here actually stopping Take Me. But of course he gets res. But so many people frozen now, and a massive Blizzard coming out actually from Nick is going to allow so many people to get taken out now. Just stuck in one specific spot.
Another huge Blizzard coming out of Nick, late to save a point. Saw it on Rialto, you saw it here, and it looks like Wannabe might be swapping off this Doomfist.
Yeah, swapping off the Doom, going back over to the Hanzo, you know. I think they swap over to the Doom for that stall. Doom has a very good stall potential, able to build up shields, a pretty good health pool. Abilities are nice to get in and out really quick. But right now, actually, PG probably not in the best position they can find themselves possible right now. Kind of taking the high ground in a pretty far away position. The rest of the team are kind of looking at them. They use that Flux, able to pick up, it looks like 5. All hitting the ground at the same time. The only kill is in the air over on Take Me, who has been rezzed back up. Both Bongos now out from both sides. The Immortality, though, has already been out from Magic 8-Balls. So if they have it on the side of Supreme in a second here, they're going to be able to get a little bit more aggressive with that, because they do still have this Bongo. They're moving up here. The window comes through, but so does the Transcendence, and the window as well on the other side follows up here. So really not much either team can do because of these two abilities coming in from these supports to stop that. But now since the Blizzard has gone through, should be a little bit easier for them. The Visor as well, charging up with that. Want to be able to take out Supreme, but taking out Nick. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to find much else with that. Losing both your supports is absolutely detrimental, so I don't think Sion's going to be able to take this here. They're stalling it out for a little bit longer, so maybe they're going to be able to do something, but it doesn't look like it.
And that's a third kill from Wannabe there. He got 2 while he was on that bridge high ground, taking out both supports, essentially ending this push, because you can't really push into an enemy team while they're trickling you down and you got nothing to bring yourself back up.
Yeah, now with about 50 seconds remaining, I mean, they're so close to capping it. They had so much time, but so far, Team 2's just been doing a fantastic job trying to hold off this last point, though it has been pushed very far. This could still make it doable for them.
That Devil getting pulled out there, but quickly getting back, that could have been very, very dangerous for them.
Yeah, right now an early pick is not what you want to see, and actually in the backline right now, Gumby is going to be looking for that Hanzo. Not quite able to pick that up, with the Blizzard now going down, and the Gravital Flux going on from both sides here. Immortality pretty good to land on Wannabe, who's able to stay up and get a few more kills. And it looks like right now the only one left on the board is going to be Supreme. Now with 20 seconds left, he's going to be the only one with an ultimate on the side of Scion. Meanwhile, it looks like they're going to have the Dragon, the Window, pretty soon the Transcendence, and the Bongo on the side of Team 2. So I think they've done it. What could have been a very, very dangerous place to be is a lot more doable now. But a Maywall to stop the team. They are going to be able to touch, but just barely in
there.
time here. Actually able to take out Devil. Not enough heals going through that window to keep him up. And now the Transcendence going through the Hanzo ultimate right onto the card to try to stop anybody from going through onto that. Right now, it looks like it's just the Mei trying to stay down there a little bit longer. No one's able to make it back over to the cart. Nitch tries to make his way over, but it isn't quite able to get there in time.
Yeah, that last fight was just a case of too many ultimates and having to trickle in one at a time to touch the point. You just that was not a winnable fight there at the means, but a good strong push. They pushed it almost to the end there. And hey, look at it this way. They didn't cap 3 points, so we're not going to have a map 6. We're not going to tie. We're going to have a winner at the end of this map.
Yeah. No way that they could potentially draw here. Right now, it's going to be all about the offense and the defense going up against each other. PG is asking for goats. Please, this is my GM match. Please, goats. Please, just run the meta. Asking for it doesn't look like anyone's going to respond happily to that. No one really wants to run goats. I don't know. You know, to each their own.
Do we see the 76 on defense as well? I would say no, but
I would say no as well.
You know, Nitch did say that they had some possible fun picks, some possible comfort picks, and that may have been one of them. And I know that they got time to swap, but Nick, this could be possible.
Come on, just one game, just one.
Dies.
Even if you lose the fight, just at least one fight, please. I feel like we're getting baited so hard.
I feel like we're getting hard baited so badly.
Yeah, they could actually switch. Whatever, don't focus on offense right now. We'll focus if they walk out the doors. But right now, let's look at the defense. Running that standard double shield, Mei, Hanzo composition here. So,
yeah,
you know, it could be hard to run the dive into, and they know that. They're switching off. They're switching back over.
You're breaking our hearts. You're breaking our hearts, team 2.
Yeah, I know them better than to trust that. All right, as much as I want to see it, I know it's not going to happen.
One thing casters can't do: trust the pregame picks.
Nah, man. You know, it's just a little debate. It's how the players like to mess with the casters. You know, it's a fun
Good
little back
flank
and
by
forth.
Wannabe there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to start off the fight. Taking out the Mei is pretty good. They won't have that wall to stop an engagement from getting too aggressive on them, or to try to wall off somebody to try to make themselves get more aggressive during it. So they're just gonna like to drop down, back up a little bit, poke, prod, do a little bit of damage. Actually, a really good pull, and now they don't have any shields, so they could put through a little bit more damage right now.
A big 5-man halt. They backed up just enough to finally get the Mei back in this off and push forward. What a good counter wall there.
Yeah, and it looks like actually 2 are going to get taken out right now. Team 2 able to pick up both the DPS here. CJ able to pick up another. That's a support now gone. So with a little less than 3 minutes, looks like they're doing a really good job. CJ, I think, got a 3K that fight. Very good for him. And, I mean, wow, that was a very fast cap. Over 5 minutes now after capping that first point to keep it going.
Team 2 trying to speedrun Gibraltar here, looks like. And Nitch getting that bad spawn. He's going to try to get out, but in the Mei wall... Excellent immortality field down.
Yeah, these spawns have been absolutely not good for Scion. They caught out 3 of their players now going back to spawn. They have to wait even longer to engage than they probably would want to. And potentially, Tigme is stuck up in the hallway here. Actually gets shot last second before he's able to make his way out and get behind that shield. So they have to wait even longer. This card is pushing up just non-stop. Nobody able to contest.
Scion only going to get one real fight here, it looks like.
Potentially one real fight if they're able to win it here. They may have a few more in the works, but a really good dragon is able to pick up 2 right there, going through that hallway, that little area. There's not much they can do. The window comes through. Not much it can do as well because of that Mei wall. So they're just on the point right now, stalling for as much time as possible. The bongo hits the floor, but it can't do much more because everybody's out of the fight already.
5:44 to push it 83 meters. And at the pace they're going, it's not going to take them that long.
Yeah, no, they're doing a really good job. They still have a lot of ultimates, but that should be said for both sides. Coming up now on 4 ultimates relatively on Scion here in a second. This could be the point. They need to win this fight right here. They're going to be using ultimates actually first on the side of Team 2, but the Blizzard comes down a little too close possibly. Now the other Blizzard following that up on the point. But it looks like right now the only pick coming through is onto Supreme and now onto Nitch. That's 2 people now down for the side of Scion. losing out on Baptiste, and now the Hanzo as well. They need to back up. They got to switch over to stall heroes now to try to do something about it. Supreme has that ultimate. He wants to try to keep up Gummy for as much as he can. He's about to get frozen here. He decides to use it, but he actually gets frozen when he tries to use his ultimate. And now the Hanzo going through this little hallway here. The bomb goes down to try to put through a little bit more damage, but there's not much they can do. On to the point now. Firewolf on that Tracer just try to do anything, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be able to be done. Team 2 takes it with a 3-2 in their favor.
Wow. I mean, didn't lose a fight that entire attack push. Wannabe doing an excellent job with these flanks, taking these off angles, being where they don't expect him to be, and just right here. This was what sealed it. He was on this high ground. He already took out Supreme. He took out Mitch and just took out the opposing Hanzo. It was just a slaughter.
Yeah,
just an
putting
absolute
through so
slaughter.
Yeah, that was an amazing push on Gibraltar. I mean, so much time. They were able to do it so fast. They were gonna have so many chances still to go at that last fight push, but they were just able to do it one after the next after the next. They only really needed 3 fights in this whole map to take it on Gibraltar. Very impressive. And while we're waiting now, make sure you vote for that MVP if it's still open. Try to hurry up and get your vote in if you haven't done it quite yet, because we're going to be bringing them in here in a second.
Tell you what, that was really tough for Scion. They got a lot of unfortunate spawns, I think, as well. I think on the second point they got split 3-3, and then Team 2 did an excellent job pushing forward, getting the 3. They got bad spawn. Now you got 3 bad spawn. Now you got 3, even more delayed, and they just never let up. They kept pushing forward, and just never really let Scion get a 6v6 fight. It was never allowed. And you love seeing that. You love seeing that aggression. Once they smelled blood, they just went after it. Yeah,
and I mean, this was a very back and forth occasion here. I mean, when they pushed it super far, I was thinking Scion, they got a pretty good chance to take it here. But after that first fight, Team 2 was just able to pick up so much time on the clock. I was like, okay, this is looking super doable for them. And then because they were able to get everybody who still had those bad spawns, who were still stuck behind, 3 kills, so now it was only 1 fight territory on the next one, so they were just able to just keep snowballing it, which is something that, as being high skilled teams, you got to be able to recognize things that can be in your advantage and to make that snowball. So I think they did an amazing job on that last map in particular to just seal the win for them indefinitely.
Yeah, especially with that being Scion's map pick, you expected that defense to eventually solidify. And yeah, okay, you might give up first point a little quickly. It happens sometimes, but you expected that second point defense to be like, okay, we're going to 6, let's get it here. And then, like we mentioned, they got staggered out, and it's like, okay, well, let's at least, get on third point together. And then it just never, the defense never coalesced. They never got a 6v6 fight, and it was such a close match. Going through all of those 5 maps, everything was back and forth, and then Team 2 was just like, look, we're in this, it's done, you're out.
Yeah, I felt like every little thing that could have started a fight out bad happened for them. They lost their Mei early on. The spawns weren't good on second. The spawns weren't good on third because a few people had to jump off, so it made it very difficult for them to try to get any traction whatsoever. It kind of just felt like it felt like someone who's playing middle school football is just getting pushed back indefinitely by the senior on varsity who's a D-line. He's just absolutely obliterating them. And so that's kind of what we saw there on Gibraltar. Team 2 just really got together, assembled themselves, and just completely pushed Scion out of the fight.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say this was the match we were expecting. Both these teams came in off of 3-0s. Both had a lot of confidence coming in. This 3-2 match, very, very close. All maps were pretty close except for that last push. We're going to set that one off to the side. But yeah, I expect Scion to be doing, great things, in that lower bracket, because by no means they get dominated during this match.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
It looks like, who are they going to be matched up against? Is it... whoever it is, I don't envy them.
But it looks like right now we will be having our MVP come in a second here, which will actually be Wannabe on the side of Team 2, who was doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, man, he was one of those main people that on that last push was very, very strong. Was one of the key components. That dragon on the second point, getting those 2 kills right before they capped the point. It was just, textbook. Again, almost a zoning dragon, but because they had to funnel through that, they had to go through the dragon and just got those 2 kills, and at that point they easily capped that point.
Yeah, it looked really good for them, and I mean they were just able to keep it up. I mean that's something that I think can be very difficult for some teams, is to try to keep up with making sure that those advantages that you're getting, you're going to continue to get as you progress and go forward, and to make sure that most of the time if someone's going to be split off in a team fight because maybe you see that they have split spawns, so everyone's going to try to hurry up and engage on that. Everybody's running forward. Yeah. Everybody's just looking around. All right, who is it going to be? Who's it going to be? They're going to know who's got that split spawn, and they're going to be able to try to take them out as fast as possible just to give themselves even more progress on that card.
Yeah, definitely. And not just the Hanzo. Wannabe had an excellent job on the Ferrite, especially on Eigenwald, had some great flanks. Really loved seeing the multiple heroes coming out.
Yeah, and speaking of Wannabe, they are here with us right now. Wannabe, welcome.
Hi. I have a request.
Yeah.
Can I bring 2 other people in here? I don't want to do this alone. I have social anxiety.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that, as the big man says.
Damn.
I think it's just gonna be us, unfortunately. Sorry about that. It's all right. I'm sure this will be fine. You'll be fine. All right.
Yeah, we'll keep it short and easy for you.
We're not doing good cop, bad cop. All right. We're both good cops as far as I'm concerned. So congratulations on your win, and congratulations on being voted MVP.
Thank you.
Yeah, did a very good job today. We saw you playing on that Hanzo. We saw you playing on the Pharah. Are there one of those that maybe you favor more than the other based on play style, or is it just kind of like, I just kind of play whatever's in the meta?
So, I guess our team recently, we've been standard 1 tricks. But I guess after the LAN we played at LA, we started scrimming Astray a lot more, and Astray taught us how to play the game a bit better and to run more diverse comps. And I think we started trying out the Pharah, and it started working. And after the first map, since King's Row isn't really a Pharah map, we decided to think about what we want to do against this team, because they had a better standard than us, or at least we thought, on the first map. And then we chose I forgot what map we chose, but it was a Pharah map, and we just started running that, and then we realized that Scion isn't really that good against trying to counter Pharahs. And on Lijiang, after we saw that it worked, we just started to keep running it.
Yeah, notice something that works and continue on with that. Well, it's good that you guys noticed that. And now when it really comes down to being in that team, who's the one that's kind of making the calls? Is it a team effort, or is there specific IGL?
It used to be just a specific IGL, which was Devil, but now our comp structure is kind of adapted, where our off tank's also talking. The main shot callers on our team are me, Devil, and PG1. And then Magic's our ult tracker.
Yeah, very good. Now, you guys did a very good job today, winning 3-2, a very hard-fought match, I mean, was there anything that you were worried about coming into this, knowing that Scion also just had a 3-0 before this?
Not really. We were going in pretty confident because our warm-up scrim definitely helped us. When we were scrimming Astray, it was pretty close, and we noticed that Scion and Astray are also on the same level. We played Scion in the OASB 3. We got 3-0'd, but that didn't change our mentality. We think of them as equal. We think of them as equals because we're all on the same skill level, as our coach said. And if we just work on our teamwork a bit better and try to outplay them in the mental game, running different comps, then we can probably win.
Yeah, well, very well said. I have to completely agree with you. You guys are what looks like very equals, but it looked like today you guys were the 51 and they were the 49. So congratulations on that. Val, anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah, just one quick question here. Coming off of this 3-2, You've got a match coming up against Citizen, also coming off of a 3-2 in about a week. How confident are you in going up against probably one of the stronger teams in this tournament that's coming off of a couple of really big wins?
We're very confident because after this match we got really hyped. I kind of lost my voice at the end because I started screaming. But
Nice.
we can. It might be a close match against Citizens. Hopefully we come out on top, just play better, and come in with the exact same mentality we came in against Scion.
Yeah, looking forward to watching. It should be an absolute great match. Both you guys coming in 3-2s, very, very high tier match. So good luck and congratulations on being voted MVP tonight.
Oh yeah, thank
Did a
you.
really good job.
Shout out to Astray.
All right. And well, hey, good job doing the interview. All right. I don't know what you were so worried about. That went great.
Yeah, you
Good
killed it,
job.
man.
Thank you.
All right. And with that being said, that's going to end the interview. Man, I mean, what a great match today. We had 2 great matches, 2 3-2s,
Phenomenal.
and I get to go again tomorrow, of course. So if you want to watch tomorrow matches, don't forget to follow Star Esports here on Twitch. We also have the YouTube, the Twitter. Join our Discord to try to keep up with everything over here in the Star Esports universe. And I just want to thank everybody again for supporting this Tier 3 community and allowing these players to show off how good they are at this game.
Yeah, man. Excellent matches tonight. The Citizens versus Forefront, Scion versus Team 2. Excellent, excellent matches. You cannot ask for a better, man. I think me and you, man, we get some of the best matches around. We had a great last time with Astray and Tribunes. This one was phenomenal. And I'm looking forward to it. Please, everybody, tell your friends about this tournament. Tune in and watch because this is some of the best high-quality Tier 3 matchups that you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, and I think that's where we're going to call it for today. I've been Porzak, your play-by-play. You can find me over at Twitch at Porzak, where you can also find my other socials if you're interested in going in and doing that. I'd very much appreciate it. Try to stream at around 2 p.m. EST, but I've had it a little hard the past couple of days because of a weird schedule change. Where can they find you, Val?
Twitch.tv/Valnilo. It's VAAL. Everybody pronounce, nobody really ever spells it right, but yeah, check me out there. I'm usually streaming Overwatch, Diablo 3, and I've actually just started playing. Well, I got back into playing Sword Tour. So if you're in for some MMOs, come on, check it out and show me some love.
All right, boom. You know where to find us. All right. So again, thank you everybody who came out tonight. We really do appreciate it here at Star Esports, and we hope to see you again soon.